Hello, everybody. My name is Max Clifford. I'm your host. This is my co-host, Damon Borgia.
Hello.
Behind the camera, we got Kate Feast. And this is Betting the W, a sports media community dedicated specifically to betting on women's sports. Today, we have a few topics to get to, so we're going to hop right in with our leadoff. Women's soccer. Speaking specifically about our nation's women's national team.
And the rough state they're in.
Hot water is how I was going to describe it. There was a lot of rain on the field in Fort Lauderdale last night, and USA slipped up once again. They lost their third straight game.
Yep.
They've all been friendlies, so they don't matter necessarily, but it sure matters that they look nothing like the U.S. women's national team that we know and love.
Yeah, I mean, they've been good pretty much my whole life.
As long
Last
as
time they lost
attention.
3 straight, 93. None of us were even thoughts by then.
We were pretty young back then, as far as I remember. We were quite young back then.
Yeah.
Like I said, the games don't matter yet. Nobody's qualifying for anything, but the Women's World Cup is right around the corner, and American fans are used to seeing their team succeed on the world's biggest stage. Carly Lloyd said that the team has no winning mentality, which is trouble when your senior leader is expressing not the most confidence in her team.
Yeah. She's really just saying, they got no dog in them.
No dog in the U.S. women's national team. We're hoping that changes, but the story today is no dog in the women's national team. Any other national team?
Well,
notes?
I'd like to talk about the growth in the Women's World Cup. So, as you guys probably know, if you're listening to a women's sports betting podcast, there's been growth heading into this Women's World Cup with the field expanding to 32 teams and the prize money doubling. And with that, we have teams taking place in their first Women's World Cup, such as Vietnam, who got placed with USA, who won the last Women's World Cup, and the Netherlands in their group, who were the runner-up. So,
sorry, Vietnam.
welcome to the World Cup, and good luck.
It's a 16 seed in March, if I've ever heard it.
Yeah.
They always give the newbies the rough go of it. So, like I said, games don't matter yet, so we're not going to spend too much time on women's national team. The NCAA women's soccer bracket did come out recently, but we'll save those picks for later on because we have basketball to discuss. Now, let's move on to some basketball. So, in serious news, this week, Brittany Griner was moved to a Russian penal colony, and her future legally is uncertain. We do extend our condolences to the family and the league as a whole.
Yeah, free BG.
On to lighter news. There are rule changes implemented in the WNBA this season. Some of them kind of boring, but a notable one is that coaches will be able to challenge, similar to what we see in the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB.
Yep. The one thing I noticed, though, is you only get one challenge a game.
Yes.
No matter the outcome, which it's the same rule in the NBA, but it still feels so stupid to me.
You should retain your challenge if you succeed. I think it doesn't make any sense to lose it on a winning challenge.
You're punishing the coaches for the refs' wrongdoing.
It's
really.
it's a punishment for doing something right. But I'll be excited to see some calls overturned late that may change the outcome of some games. I know there have been some questionable calls in the past, so coaches can do something about it now.
It does introduce an interesting strategic element to the game.
Definitely. And new rules, old players. Diana Taurasi back again. She told Phoenix Media this week that she's training again, which means that she's going to be back next season. I kind of expected her to go out with Sue Bird. They came into the league together from UConn, and we know Sue is done for sure, as far as we know. But Diana's back for another season.
Well, Sue always telling her that once she's gone, Diana will be the oldest player in the league. So Diana had to come back, really.
Diana takes the throne from Sue that she's held for so long.
And honestly, she was still an effective player last year.
She was.
Averaged 16.7, 4, and basically 4 on 37, 34, and 89 splits, which is something the Mercury really need.
I was going to say she's playing on a team that not doing so hot.
Yeah.
Looking at the odds, they are plus 1,700 to win the NBA title. Think it's worth a little sprinkle?
Absolutely not.
No, not even close.
I mean, they were the 8th seed last year. We really need some expansion.
Yes.
So teams like that don't make the
A
playoffs
team like that
again.
should not have been in the playoffs.
Because they just got trounced by the Aces.
We'll do a full WNBA preview after the draft, but we can say with relative confidence, you don't want a Mercury future on your account right now. Other news around the W, new coaches. 5 franchises have found their next leaders. The Wings picked up Latricia Trammell. The Fever signed Christy Sides. I said 5 teams. I meant 4. My apologies. The Sun have just signed Stephanie White. She's going to be replacing the Sparks' new coach, Kurt Miller. Mm-hmm. So I got a question for you. Why would Kurt Miller want to coach the Sparks when he's been coaching the Sun the past few years, and they made 2 out of the last 3 finals and have been one of the best teams? They had the MVP last year in John Cole Jones, and the move doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
I mean, the main thing I see is you can't really blame him from going from Uncasville to LA. I feel like there's a lot of...
He said it on me. I completely agree. I think he wanted a big market.
Yeah.
The Sparks used to dominate for the same reason not the Clippers. Definitely not the Clippers, but the Lakers used to dominate. And the Dodgers, it's LA. Big names want to be there.
Yeah.
Big names don't exactly want to be in Connecticut, but they've been winning with not so big names, turning them into big names. So,
and I see it as he really couldn't get the Sun over the hump.
Yes.
Couldn't get him to actually...
It's
reach
true.
the glory.
A lot of runner-up finishes for the Sun in the past few years. So Kurt Miller, can't exactly blame him, but he's leaving behind a lot of talent. So we'll see what he takes care of in LA. Mm-hmm. And final WNBA news is that tonight we had the WNBA draft lottery. The 4 teams that did not make the playoffs were entered in the drawing. The odds were heavily in the favor of the Fever. Over 44% chance to win the lottery, and they got it, which means they won the Aaliyah Boston lottery.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any question that whichever team won this lottery, it was going to take Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, that's the lockiest lock of all time, probably.
Absolutely. if you can get a bookie to give you a future on Aaliyah Boston first overall, take that.
Yep.
Obviously, we're hoping for good health for her, and if all holds, she's the most talented player in this draft class.
Absolutely.
We'll do a full mock draft once the draft gets closer, but another little sneak peek, Aaliyah Boston 1-1. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. And then the Lynx will pick 2nd, the Dream 3rd, the Mystics 4th. So we will see how that shakes out in the spring. And now we're going to go down to the college ranks. The pros just got finished, so now we're going to talk a little college basketball. A lot of blowouts this week. The opening week for college basketball is always big brother beating up on little brother.
I mean, we've been talking about it all week.
Yeah.
It's just 70-point blowout, 50-point blowout.
Some egregious finishes this week. But on the women's side, there have been some very exciting games as well. We've got some ranked matchups already. Game of the week this week. Number 14, Ohio State upsets number 5, Tennessee in dominant fashion. Tennessee led out of the gate, and they were looking like the team that they were expected to be. Final 4 bound, one of the best teams in the country, backed on top, first time since Pat Summitt left. They came out hot. They were leading by 8 at the half, and then Ohio State used a 30-13 third quarter and an 18-0 run that spanned from the end of the third to the beginning of the fourth to completely wiped the floor with Tennessee, frankly. It was a 12-point win, if I'm doing that math correctly. And the key to this game, well, I'll let you talk about your key to the game, and then I'll share mine.
Well, I mean, my really takeaway is early season games don't matter.
For sure.
Except for when they do.
And
I feel like this game definitely mattered, because last year they started off hot.
Yep.
18-1 start, finished the year 7-8.
Yep.
And then they almost lost in the round of 64 to Buffalo. I mean, not really almost, but it was a closer game than it actually looked
Close
like.
Enough. Some spread.
3-point win over Belmont, round of 32, and then just got dismantled by Louisville. So
yes,
I don't know how you feel about this Tennessee team, but I don't know if I'm liking their odds.
I mean, last year they started hot, got cold. Maybe they'll do the opposite this year, but early,
Yeah.
they don't look great.
Especially not with the 5th best odds to win it, on DraftKings at least.
Well, that's a perfect segue into our next segment. We're talking championship futures. So, we've got the DraftKings odds to win the national championship for women's basketball in front of us. We're going to do a little snake draft, 5 picks each. We're going to talk about 10 teams that you may want to lay a little money on and some teams that you might want to avoid as well. So, sir, I'm going to let you have the first overall pick. Yes, sir.
1-1, easiest pick of all time, gotta say. You gotta go South Carolina.
Interesting.
Really?
I gave you the first pick because I knew that you would pick Carolina. Look, I'm repping the reigning champs. I'm an honorary Gamecock for life. We both are. But I'm not wearing the sweatshirt of the back-to-back champs.
Dude, it's their championship to lose.
It is, and that is exactly why I think they will not go wire to wire. That is so hard to do. It's so hard to repeat in any sport.
Mm-hmm.
So many leagues have gone through droughts of no back-to-back champions, and I think there is too much pressure and too much expectations, even for Don Staley's excellent program. I'm glad you picked South Carolina because I don't want the people to get mad at me for not taking them first overall. I'm rooting for them. Go Gamecocks, but at plus 150 as the odds-on favorite, I'm passing over South Carolina. Passing over Stanford as well was my second thought.
Yeah.
I'm going with the third best odds to win the championship. Look, I bet the way I live. I want the fun team, and Iowa is the most fun team in the nation. The Hawkeyes are going to lead the nation in scoring by a wide margin. Let me pull up Iowa women's basketball. They won yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me find the actual score. 115 to 65. Sorry, 62 over Evansville. That's a lot of points to give up to Evansville. I will admit that. They do have defensive struggles, which led to their collapse against Creighton in the tournament last year. But I believe in this Iowa team. Caitlin Clark is the best non-draft eligible player, so the best player outside of Aaliyah Boston. She scores like crazy. They're number 4 in the nation right now. I don't see them losing many games. We talked about Ohio State. They might be a challenger, but Iowa is going to score so many points, and a lot of teams are not going to be able to keep up, especially come March. So my first pick is Iowa.
Yeah, I was hoping they would fall to me. Hoping you go Stanford there. I mean, I just love the way Iowa plays basketball.
Yes.
I mean, you can't lose if you score more points than the opponent.
That's a fact, my friend. I don't see a lot of teams scoring more than 115 in a game.
Yeah.
Sorry, Evansville. You had to get trounced on early in the season.
And like I said, early season basketball doesn't matter, except for when it does. Guys, they've won both their games by over 50.
They're crushing.
They
out of conference
score the ball. All
They
right.
will. Their first challenge, I will note, at Kansas State this Thursday. That'll be a big one. Kansas State has a powerful scorer of their own, but I don't see Iowa losing. NC State will be a big challenge on December 1st, but they will go a long time without losing. We're going to see it.
Yeah. All right, so pick 2-1. I'm going to preface this by saying, fully thought Kate behind the camera was going to be in on this draft. So a few of my picks might be reaches here, but I'm going to go with UConn. I know it's a boring pick. Paige is out, but I believe in AZ Fudd and Aaliyah Edwards to step up. And they got 2 out of the top 5 recruits this year, including freak athlete, by the way, Ayanna Patterson. They're coming in to help the Huskies. They'll pick up the slack with Paige out. I think they have a decent shot, and you can't bet against Gina.
Absolutely. I agree. UConn's a great pick. This is probably the best value you're going to get out of a preseason
plus
odds.
1,200.
Without Paige, they are 6th best odds to win the championship. They are usually top 4. So it's not like Paige is the only good player on the roster. I think a lot of people forget that Paige is important, but she's not the team.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of great players on this UConn roster.
And there were times during the tournament, especially, where AZ Fudd just took over.
She was incredible.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
She's back for more.
They put that backpack on.
Absolutely. For my second pick, 4th overall, I'm taking the Louisville Cardinals. We all know I'm a huge Haley Van Lith fan. I think that she's an absolute game changer. Didn't carry them to the finals because they are a well-rounded team, but she's a star. And everyone else on the floor with her is excellent as well, can score for themselves, can get boards. Louisville will be my pick to win the ACC, and I will definitely be laying some money on them to win the chip as well. They're plus 2,000 on DraftKings. I think that's a great value. 7th best odds. The Cards are going to be a really good team come March, so keep an eye on them.
I mean, it's really, how do you see the newcomers panning out? Because
for sure,
everyone around, Van Lith is Van Lith, but it's everyone around her.
Cold.
Alrighty, so round 3. I know I'm leaving a heavy hitter on the board here. He's letting them drop to me. But I'm going to leave him there. I'm going to stay in the ACC. I'm going to go with Notre Dame plus 2,500.
Woo! Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Notre Dame, they made it to Sweet 16. They hung with NC State. Tough loss last year.
Mm-hmm.
They have 4 out of 5 of their starters from that team returning. And they have the reigning ACC Freshman of the Year, Sonia Citron? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think so. That feels right. I mean, baller. And another freshman, all-ACC team freshman, Olivia Miles. You might have heard of her. Also cold.
Cool.
So if that duo, sophomore duo now, can make a leap as leaders of that team, I can see them making a really big run.
Interesting. I like it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that pick. Notre Dame is a very interesting team. Won a championship not too long ago. They might be right back at the top again this year. So now it's time for my overreaction pick. This team has played one game, and they dominated Tennessee. We talked about them already. The Ohio State Buckeyes are number 14 in the country right now. They will be a top 10 team when the rankings come out next week. You can get them at 3,000, plus 3,000 right now. Excellent value. The Buckeyes were great last year. They've been great in their one game this year. I mean, one game, one win over a top 5 team. I'm definitely overreacting, and they might have some problems in the Big Ten with Michigan and Iowa, my other pick. We'll see who's coming out of that division, that conference rather. But look, Ohio State's good. They've been good. They look really good this year. They used the full court press on Tennessee and just drove them crazy. So if they do get into a match with a high-scoring team like Iowa's going to have to limit those turnovers if they want to score high numbers against Ohio State. So Ohio State defense and then offense on the other end, it's a lethal combo. That's my overreaction pick. That's my third pick of the night.
I mean, I don't know if it's Ohio State being good or Tennessee being not so good, but
Lady Vols are still on the board. Notable,
and I think they'll stay on the board.
They'll stay on the board.
I'm not going to lie. So, going back to, I thought Kate was drafting with us.
You can change your pick. You can update your pick.
No. I
like known for a couple hours.
I like all my picks. What can I say?
Man loves his picks.
I'm going to go with Baylor, calm plus 5,000.
Ooh, interesting.
Calm plus 5,000. I know they have 5 players returning, so a lot of newcomers, but the staff in Baylor, they 2 impactful first rounders in the WNBA, including first overall pick, Melissa Smith, and Queen Egbo also very impactful. So I have no doubt that they'll be able to mold that team into a highly competitive team.
It's Baylor.
Yeah.
What else can you have to say? It's Baylor.
They hoop.
They know ball, and they will surely be near the top of the Big 12, at the top of the Big 12. Leaving Texas out there because I don't know about Texas in the Big 12. I like Baylor. Baylor is always a solid program, always a good team. I like that pick. I'm going to go with another plus 5,000 team. And their coach knows a thing or two about Baylor basketball. I'm going to go with the Tigers. LSU, baby. Championship is coming down to the Bayou. And I think that LSU is great value at plus 5,000. Kim Mulkey knows ball. They're getting good recruits. They made a deep run last year. LSU is turning things around, and I think that's a great value at plus 5,000. You're going to want to lay some money on the Tigers for sure.
Yep. They're definitely on my board. Down there, plus 5,000.
Yes, sir.
All right, so fifth pick, right? Final
Fifth
round?
pick, final round.
I'm going to go with a little bit of a reach. More than a reach.
Yes.
More of a reach than my other picks.
Yes.
Notably a football school now. I'm taking UCLA.
Oh,
at plus 15,000.
Plus 15,000. You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks.
They did not make the tournament last year, but they had the top recruiting class of 2022. Kiki Rice.
Hoopers want to play in LA. What did I say?
Hooper. I mean, there's a reason Kurt Miller left Uncasville to go to LA.
I'm saying.
Kiki Rice is a hooper. I think that young squad could definitely make things interesting.
All right. I like it. I'm also going with the long shot for my last pick. I'm going to match you with a plus 15,000.
Alrighty.
Another big city on a coast. I'm going Miami. The U. I'm taking the Canes. They have a very interesting pair in the Cavender twins who are like TikTok social media superstars, and so they're bringing some notability to the program, and they're also bringing talent. I mean, these girls can hoop. There's a reason they transferred from Fresno State, because they got too big for their shoes over there on the WCC or the Mountain West. I think it's the Mountain West. They were excellent playing together. They're a pair of really sharp guards, and Miami's got a solid team this year, and I like them to make a deep run. So if you want a long shot, have a look at Miami.
And, I mean, we left a few heavy hitters on the board,
Yeah.
but
I wasn't going to pick Texas.
I don't know.
We all know that. I don't want Texas.
I don't really have faith in Stanford or Tennessee either.
I'm a big fan of Stanford's program, but it's going to be tough. They lost a big one in... now I'm forgetting her name. They lost some heavy hitters from last year's class. Still got Cameron Brink as a presence always. I think she'll be Pac-12 Player of the Year again, and I think they'll probably win the Pac-12 again. Don't be surprised if they're in the Final Four, but I don't know if they have what it takes to win the Final Four.
I see them making a deep run, but
For sure.
I don't know about getting all the way.
All right, so now for our final segment, we're going to bring in producer Kate. Gonna have her bring her producer chair over here and make a little
Special
room.
guest chair.
Little room in the middle. You should be able to see her over the table.
I'm not that short.
Chair is short. You got a short chair. Look at how comfortable that chair is. She's sitting pretty. This is our walk-off segment.
I'm real down here.
Say hello to the people, Kate.
Hi.
This is Kate.
I'm Kate.
Now, we're gonna all finish with a pick for a game this week. We've all got a pick that we like. We're going to keep track of who's up, who's down week to week. We've all got picks we like, and that can be trouble because a lot of the picks we like don't pan out so well. But I have faith every week that we will get every pick right because why not? Positivity is what it's all about. Yeah. So, Kate, would you like to lead us off?
Sure. I'm taking Seton Hall over Princeton this Monday.
Ride with that.
Exactly.
The Hall, baby.
Great game. Damon?
What's up? Oh. I'm gonna go UConn over Texas on Monday, 11-14. I'm gonna take the money line because we don't got any lines going on here.
Yes. And for my pick, also on Monday, another ranked matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Indiana's going to be a favorite against Tennessee. Tennessee's at home. But whatever points Indiana is getting, take them. They might win the game outright. I'm going to go with the point spread, whatever that ends up being. Indiana Hoosiers over Tennessee. Tennessee drops to 0-2 with 2 losses at home. The first one was at Ohio State, but they dropped to 0-2 with 2 losses in the Big Ten this year. So, those are our picks. We'll see how those pan out come this time next week. And you can follow us on social media, #BettingTheW, #BettingTheW, and we'll see you here next week.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.